Though all assumed Bagthal would go on to be a great general, and he did, it was his compassion that was his greatest achievement. Together you cared for the postulants recovered from the lands of the Legion. He showed them the patience and kindness that you'd shown him. It was a difficult life, but one that was full of joy, generosity, and above all else, love. Though you and Coruscant both went on to serve your people, you and Ilian and her in the Empire, she preferred the time she spent with you. After everything you'd been through, you happily felt the same. You spent your later days as scholars reading the poems of long-dead thinkers to one another. Through you, an age of enlightenment was soon to begin. It would be guided by your mutual love for learning, and above all, your love for one another. You still found time for Ilmirin. After years of torturing your body in war, then years of near total physical isolation upon your throne, there was this, another kind of sensation with another kind of body. A simple, comforting truth that closeness is often enough. She never said I love you. She never had to. Her body told you the depth of her love every time she was close. In the silent moments when the city slept just outside your window and duty seemed a lifetime away, your love was nearly deafening. Through it all, however, was Orion, new leader of the reborn empire and in many ways the person you most trust on Nevendar. Over your many years as friends, the bond between you became a symbol of peace for future generations of the Empire and of Ilion. Together, you clumsily handled the expectations of onlooking dignitaries with a fumbling sort of grace, and it was glorious, if not a little more drunken than a standard affair. Despite the newfound burdens you shouldered, you still found time for Ejimar. Though you loved many in your realm, no single man was quite as thrilling and unpredictable as was he. Without Mortis, his immortality waned, but before he finally returned to dust, he taught you his dark arts. Strangely, in places of death, you came to feel the most alive. It was fleeting, but it was a life shared in love. Despite the newfound burdens you shouldered, Ormariel made it easier. Rightful elder of the Elven clans and in every way the woman you most trusted on Nevendar. She handled the expectations of onlooking dignitaries with grace. You were, perhaps, less poised. Together, you celebrated love across races, traditions, politics, and ambition. Here, you showed the people what a world of acceptance could look like, and it was glorious. Through the years, no bond grew as deeply as your bond with Sebastian, rightful king of the Castle Hale and host of the Church of St. Darchild. He was all too happy to find time for you, too. In the end, maybe this is what it was all for. Not the grand permanence of building a world, but these small, fleeting gestures between old loves. A single, delicate touch, a withering intimacy, a gentle reminder that you are, despite it all, alive. Despite the newfound burdens you shouldered, you still found time for Charlea. With the war over, she resolved to destroy Queen's Nest, but in the decades that followed, your mind and body withered. So when it was time, Charlea gifted you immortality. Reborn and hungry for destruction, you are now eternally young and eternally in love. You always found time for Melindrak. Though he was occasionally a beastly man, that quality faded over the years, replaced by the fatherly love he showed to your children, the animals of his ancestral home. It was a love you shared, and though you always remained ruler, it was here, in this precise moment, where you were happiest, among love, among life.